Yeah, open menu. I just watched The Beekeeper. It's a good movie. 100 times 100 is 1/10,000. Okay, so we can't get as smaller than 100th. But the V is ridiculous. Almost by minus 5,000. Guess I should set a hard limit on this as well. It just doesn't make any sense to get that small. And now it's also weird. I move it up. And then bang. How about just refusing to make it larger? I don't know what's happening there. It's not good. I want the V to be limited to, or let's say at least minus 40, I think I used. So that's the absolute worst case. Let's make it minus 10. That's it. Okay. But if V is getting clamped, then we have to get back to, and I have to change S again. Okay, a more logical thing is to not even allow this. Let's make it 1/10. in V, in S I meant. Shit. Oh. Yeah, never mind. Oh no, I'm making V's a negative, and I'm making it larger. I think it, no, it was, yeah. I have no, I don't understand this. What the heck, this jump? If s squared is minus 4, this is 1, then this should be minus 1/4. So this should be 5/4. So that should be 5/8, not minus 48. I think this is just bullshit, right? Where's my calculator? Yeah, fill that in. 2 times minus 48.8844 equals that. Minus 97.7. Subtract that from 1. That's 98.7. And then divide 0 point something divided by this. Square root. That's a bloody 1/10. Huh? So I can't calculate. Oh yeah, no, you're right. If this is a 0.1, squared is a 100th. So this is must be 98 then. So 98 means that is about 48.8844, yeah. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. It's kind of weirdo. Bring this up. Yeah, S goes from plus infinity to minus infinity. That's the discontinuity. So I can't just say, oh, S is minus infinity. Let's put it at 0.1. In fact, I should put it at plus infinity. So I should not look at the minimum value of S. I should look at the maximum value of S that I want to allow. Probably should just use the current maximum value of S. And then refuse to go beyond that. Don't even know if I have that. So that would be something off the slider. No, I have it. Current max value. I think this is updated, isn't it? Yeah, we call set value. So I also need an accessor for these two then, because it is updated. Want to read it back. You had a date. Well, congratulations. Should I be jealous or? You were sooner than me. I did it later than that age. Unfortunately. I think you should start dating very soon, you know. Like, really. It's an experience. Well, better late than never, of course. Yeah, that's a good principle. But I sure know that I wish, I don't know. Let's not talk about it. It's squared. No, obviously I can see that from the sign of this sign. Oh, I would stay so far away from girls who can't shut up. I hate that. If she's the type like never drop a pause, never allow you to even begin talking, you're so going to regret that. So this is negative, then this must be negative, therefore V must be larger than a half. Is S squared small? I don't think silences are awkward at all. I like silences. Gives you time to think. If I would ever have a friend, the best friend would be someone that is just silent. I would be silent. He would be silent. Until there is something to say. That's the best. And I have friends who, they talk, but they don't say anything. Well, the first real day, 26. Oh, it's very late. Very late. Probably had to do with the fact that I was gay and only discovered that, admitted that until I left the house. Until I left my parents' house. So I only left my parents' house at 25. So, and before that I was just, not interested in dating, because I don't know. I didn't think about it. I was way before internet, so I was not really educated. I thought gay people were, feminine, dress weird, either in leather or like a woman. And then I had these weird hand waves. Anything you see on television, or saw on television then. The weird types. And I'm not like that at all. I'm just a completely normal guy. So every time my teenage mind was thinking, can I be gay? No way. I'm not like the people on TV at all. And that's why I keep pushing it away. And I'm dating C++, yeah. So instead I started doing C++. I can't decide if S is large or small in this case. So this is close to a half, this is close to 0. This isn't. This is whatever it is. It could also be small or large, but currently it's just 0.9-ish. So that means that this is big. It means that S is big. S is just big. And S is always positive. So we always have to limit it against the max S, I think. Wait a minute. You say, and I still am not interested. Right. Where do you live? Sorry, I have to ask. What country do you live? Yeah, now you say it. Now you say it. I remember it again. I'm bad with names. So instead of setting S, I'm going to set V. Sorry, yeah, that's what I'm doing here. Well, that's what I should be doing. Oh, yeah, but sorry. V was changed, but unacceptably so. So I'm going to change V such that S is going to be at its limit, which is then slider S dot Maxwell, I think. Dot Maxwell. Change the V to V. Okay. Now this V should lead then S to be equal to its maximum value. Well, that's good enough. I'm confused. I thought I thought I would need 2 of these. Depending on if the value is larger or... Why would this be negative? The whole story is wrong that I typed out here. V must be either larger or less than a half. And I'm just setting it to whatever. How is that a little bit larger or a little bit less than a half? Does not make any sense. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just try out what happens now. Okay, it doesn't allow me to move higher than 0.477. Although I can drag it there, but just puts it back. How can I even drag it there? Something is wrong, man. Okay, anyway, it changes it to something less than a half, which corresponds to a positive value of this, which is positive right now, but if we move the curve that way, or yeah, rather I put this thing like here. Let's make something like looks corresponding to that. Now we have a negative value here, so now it should be larger than a half. It's less than, well, it's not updated. So now it's larger than a half. So I can just move it up without problems to whatever. But if I go down and I try to go below a half, then is it going to limit me? It is going to not limit me yet. V changed to almost a half. S is not too large, I guess. It's still not too large. Okay, it's limiting. Yeah, it's automatically a little bit larger or less than a half. But it is weird that I can drag it, that it is updated once at least to a value that is not allowed, and then jumps back. Why the hell is that? What the hell? You can make it larger than a half until a certain point. Oh no, now it goes wrong. So if S goes through the roof, then it works. But if S goes lower and lower and becomes negative by itself because it's too low, then we get a jump again. Jumps back to a half. How the hell do I detect that? Ah, right, I get it. Well, not really, but at least I think that it depends on more like the side of that S is on then. So it's not probably negative. It really matters if it is negative or not. Because the one way... Oh, okay. Abhimanyu, good night. I watched American Psycho. Yeah, it was a fun movie. I can't remember it very well anymore, but except for one sentence. Somewhere he says, "I just had to kill a lot of people." I really like that. He's a good actor, I guess. Yeah, it's not probably negative, man. It's either... I don't know. I don't even want to fix this sentence. Hey, I keep puzzling with the name, man. Cypher. Silent Age. No, I should have it. It still blinks, but okay. And then if I move Q there, you can move it up as far as we want. And on this side, it's limited to plus a half. A little can't go lower than a little bit above plus a half, but can go up as far as you want. We put it there, then can't put it higher than a little bit less than a half, but we can go as low as you want. Good. And now the flickering thing. Why is it updating when it's limiting anyway? In this case, I mean updating the slider. It's really weird. It doesn't want to be a different value. Yet it is shortly. Okay, so we start like that. V should not be larger than a half. Definitely is at some point. Now let's do it here. What? Oh, wait a minute. I think I get it. Yeah. So it does now get there. I mean, does not assert. The reason is that when I move the mouse, we're down here in handle dragging, and that already updates it. Yeah, the reason then is that I should do that in the restriction lambda of the slider, which I'm not passing here, I'm afraid. That's just part of slider itself. It's part of the plot. This default draggable restriction for a slider is just the min and max value. So I just should not allow the max value to be too large, which depends on the position of Q. Maybe the problem is that, well, I change Q. I drag Q around without updating the min and max values. But okay, I kind of had it. It works good enough. I want to continue with this. Let me think if I can solve it, because so I do have to catch the updating of Q anyway. So if Q is moved, then what is changing? It's just plot Q, isn't it? No, I'm never setting that value, so I don't have to do that. At least. Yeah. You have to do this. Can't we just work with Q? Instead of QX. bool. Just X, of course. Point has an X and a Y. I don't know. I'll like to do this. Oh wait, no, it's a P2X. Yeah, nothing changed. Nothing changed. Nope. What I want to do now is when there's changes. So when Q is being dragged, now we get here. So no slider changed, so I don't think I have to do this. That's just slider stuff. But what I do need is now wait a minute. I do need to calculate everything, and therefore I do need to do the set of values. Yep, slider changed. That is, well, slider values changed. Because no, it's bullshit. Sorry. Well, actually, no, it's not bullshit. This value changed. I mean, the length, the dot product changed, Q moved. So the dot product, this dot product changes, and the length of this vector changes. So these two have changed. Yet the slider were not moved, so we're not recalculating anything. But we should, because well, this changed, so V changed. W did not change, but this changed. So I think I should calculate. Yeah, actually, if you move Q, what does change? W or no? Let's keep W the same. So I'm going to set S from W. That would be this one. Yep, so S changes because this changed. And then we have to change V. I have to duplicate this code, probably. No, I don't. I don't. I can just do this. Well, it's still code duplication, but well. It's kind of the same what I have to do then, except setting previous Q as when W is changing. Just like the exact same code. dump. So really I would do or previous Q is unequal that. And then it's the same code except that also update that. Might as well always set it. Probably faster than first checking it. Now these should also automatically update if I drag Q. Yay, and they do. Choose and crash. I expected that kind of. That's pretty annoying. The reason is as if I put Q here and then SW becomes 0, which means that I just can't calculate S anymore. S could be anything, which means that V could be anything. I think we just have a straight line then. It's a horizontal line. So it could be a parabola, an ultra thin parabola that goes like this, and then we have infinitely far and the vertex, and then we return over the same line because it's infinitely thin. But the vertex could also be on the other side. But since it's infinitely thin, it doesn't really matter where the vertex is, as long as it's somewhere on this line, left or right of the whole thing. And then we go through, well actually it has to start here, the vertex must be on this side, yeah. We go through P0 and then through P1, and then we have somewhere a vertex between here and infinity, and then it returns. And then, because it has to be a straight line, I think, if we return it's still a straight line going through the same points, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, we don't know what the vertex is, so we don't know what V is. And we don't know what S is because it's infinitely thin. So it could be infinitely thin, or it could be the square of infinite thin. I'm just kidding. Yeah, well. Or maybe I should just not draw it. Just not crash. Blink out the curve, that's it. I guess just S because it becomes not a number. Goes to 0. Why the slide is not changing if I do this? Yeah. It's impossible, of course. Making SW like infinitely smaller than it was. W is the same, so S must become way smaller, or this is a legal value. but I'm limiting S on 0.1. So Q is just in an illegal position. I should not allow Q to be here at all. Because if I do that, then S becomes 0, less than 0.1. Tarquin, yeah. I don't think I can do the machine learning thing without the visual feedback. And I started with a horrible hackish use of Knuplot. But Knuplot can't update curves with this speed. And that's even slow. This curve exists of many tiny little lines, and I'm going to improve that drastically. That's what I'm working on now, actually. I can't have a GNU plot window where I can drag points and have an immediate update. I can't have sliders that I can change that are fast, which update stuff. This is going to be an interactive feedback mechanism. And I can't do machine learning. What I'm doing, I need this. I mean, if you just want to recognize cats or dogs, then of course this is not useful. But yeah, what I'm doing, it is going to be useful. I just want to see graphs, plots, and even if I'm mistaken, then it's still an extremely useful tool, which I have needed often in the past. So the number of times that I was sighing that Linux did not have a drawing program for straight lines and stuff, circles and straight lines. You have GIMP, which is absolutely wonderful, but I never understood how to draw a straight line with that. And this gives me a programmatic feedback. You can just program it. Get all the feedback that I want, and if I want to do something that's not possible, I can extend it because it's my own code. I already knew Cairo a little bit. I'm just using Cairo because I think it's a good graphics library to do the drawing. I think this used to work with not a number. So if we go through P1, then it just doesn't draw anything. And then when we get out of it again, then it starts drawing again. So if you crash here, that's purely because I'm trying to set not a number on a slider, I think. Which means that, for example, if I do this, so Q is changed, and then S works obviously, and then V also works. What? How is this ever not going to work? Oh, no, it's not true. This becomes 0. Oh, but this does not become 0. So this is never not a number. Never not a number. I don't know why it is going wrong then. I think it's still the square root somewhere. That is the only square root that I'm doing. Time for the debugger again, I guess. Why the hell is the thing crashing at all? Hold, stop, quit, yes. Run it again. Run. Would do another window. I'm trying to create a direction with a not a number. Probably both. Direction comes from okay. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Can't make a direction that goes from 0, 0 to 0, 0. Yeah, still not really clear where the 0, 0 comes from. But up. Trying to create a direction from 0, 0. Where x, y are both 0. That is because I call direction. So I'm trying to get the direction from QP1. Yeah, okay. That QP1 has no direction anymore. If Q is the same as P1. So this is kind of illegal. I have to take into account that that vector is possibly non-existent. I should just use a positive or negative direction of the y-axis in this case. I guess it doesn't really matter which one. Or I can take minus the normal of this one, if I can calculate that one. That's the symmetry line itself. It depends on where the vertex is. Let me think. The vertex should be on the side of P1. Otherwise, it's not a good parabola. Yeah. Which means that the symmetry line is pointing to the left. In that case. And the normal is, I think, rotated clockwise or anti-clockwise. 90 degrees clockwise. In my head. The vertex is there, so that vector symmetry line must pointing in that direction, which means, and that was a normal, and that is clockwise rotated from that. So this one must point down in that case. So I can do that. Do I have a default constructor? Do not have a default constructor. I don't have a bloody default constructor. Okay, so I can just use a tertiary operator, or is that called? If something, then that, and otherwise something else. Let's do this something else here. The direction is of course going to return a direction. And I just said that I had to point down, so that would be x is 0 and y is -1. And that applies when the length of that vector is too short. So if the length is large enough, I don't know, that should do it, I think. If the length is larger than 1/1,000th, that's, in this case that's reasonable, because P0 and P1 are at a distance of 1. But I'm not really liking it. Nevertheless, I think this is what I'm dividing by, so good enough. 1/1,000th, then we just get the direction. And otherwise you have something that points down. I think this should work. Calling protected constructor. You're not allowed to do that. Wait, I already have that. That's the reason, maybe. No, it's not the reason. 0 minus 1 is down. To-do. Fixed. Interesting. No more crashes. What happens to V? Bit unclear what happens to V. We just swap it. It's like that 1/1,000th pixel here that we never really reach, I guess. I don't know. Right here, V switches from between plus and minus 50. I don't know. Whatever makes you happy, I guess. Well, I guess now is the time to make the curve also change, because I can finally control all the variables. So we have a few modes. One mode is that I use the p beta and p gamma to determine the curve. Or I can not use p beta and p gamma at all and use those sliders, and then stuff in between. Use, I don't know, partially one point and less sliders, I guess. Because it's fun. Machine learning is fun. Lots of mathematics in it, which is fun. X beta y comma. Let's for now make it a hard-coded thing. Otherwise I first have to make buttons that I can click. I'm kind of getting tired of extending that. I don't really think I want to disable beta but enable gamma. So if you disable beta, then gamma is disabled as well. But even if you enable beta, then it could still be the case that you don't want to use the gamma point. What the fuck? You know, I hope it's not brain damage. Why? I don't know what I was pressing. I think I just key the next. Not to press this slash, but I was pressing the dot. It's horrible. So if these don't exist, then yeah, then they don't exist, right? And if, let's not type that again. Copy this one again. The next beta label. Yep, no label when we don't have the points. And if twice. And then we don't have this. In fact, we don't have the helper variables. And we are going to do this differently, I guess. The tangents of theta is then not calculated, but might be calculated. I'm not sure yet how to change this, to be honest. Let's cut it off here for now. let's assume that if this is not true for now, or, well, no, okay, else if you don't use gamma, we might still be using beta. But otherwise, we do not use gamma and we do not use beta. Let me just move this, the whole thing up for now. This. Right, so how are these things defined when we don't have this this stuff, but you do have the S and the V and the W? That we should be able to steal from this program, which I can delete after I got this working. So we have an S, a W and a V, and here we have the matrix. So the only thing I'm missing here is theta. What is theta? Oh, theta is a perpendicular to the symmetry line direction. I do have that one. Yeah, so we have theta, we have S, we have V, we have SW, we have everything. So this is then what I need. Next. Why did I do that? Because I already have it now like this. Check. Yep. Bloop. Yep, have that. And I don't have SW. I have S times W. Actually, I do have S and W. Maybe I should not look at S times W, like this one. S and W are being updated, that one is not. So I should or could define another helper variable called SW. And then we have the matrix. I think this should compile. Exciting. A flat line. Well, it's almost flat. It's a little bit curved up. I think it's one of the reasons is that the V is super negative. Can I just move this up? Let's make V closer. Yep, there we go. If I put V between 0 and 1, then the vertex is between P0 and P1. If I make V equal to a half, oh, it doesn't want that. It doesn't want it because, yeah, if you make it equal to a half, then the vertex is here and the thing is standing right up, but it's not standing right up. Q says that this is the symmetry line. So if I change the vertex, it slides, the vertex slides away from P0 for a negative value, but the symmetry line is always parallel to this dotted line here. W is the width of the parabola at a distance of 1 from the vertex. So this is a distance of 1, so this is about here. So this is W. So if I make W different, then it should change the width. And the only way it can do that, apparently, is by changing V as well. And S. Well, I guess. Then if I change S, then what? It's almost doing the same thing. Oh yeah, that's an interesting one. So V equals 0, which is almost the case now, then the vertex is P0 is the vertex at that point. So this is possible. You cannot get the vertex in P1 for obvious reasons, because the symmetry line is like that. Can't rotate the parabola, and it has to go through P0. Also, can't make S less because, oh wait, I said that. We can make S less, it just rotates around it. The vertex sneaks around P0, interesting, yeah. And on here it is 0, and here is it less than, wait a minute. No, the vertex is now in between P0 and P1, so it is between 0 and 1. But if we move it to that side, then the vertex is on the side of P0, and then so it's negative. That's correct. But cannot move the vertex over there. Oh, well, yeah. Kind of makes sense. And now I'm going to rotate it. That rotates. Oh, this is so super cool. Look at that. It moves around P0 here. So you can move it up, and then it goes all the way like that. Now we have P, the vertex equal to P0. So now this is 1, because the vertex is in P1. And if we put it straight up, which is 1Q and P0 at the same point, then it's a half, because now it's the vertex is exactly in between P0 and P1. But say I kind of lost the meaning of the difference between S and W. It's not very clear, is it? Change this. Both are changed. Vertex moves up. Let's see. So we go high enough, then this vertex doesn't move that much anymore. Plus 1 is there. This should be W. From the middle to there. So that is from a half. So this is 1. 1.5-ish. 1.46. That is W. So we move this to say 1. Then I have to go up 1 from here, that is there, and then, no, it is there. Inaccuracy. If I go 1 to that side, I'm ending up there, not there. Why? It could be that it's just not 1, you know, it's 0.999. Maybe that's the reason. I think that has to be the reason. looks more like one. I don't know. What's the middle here? Does this line cut this line at the same point as this? This looks like exactly in the middle. That's definitely not. It's higher than the middle. Around. No, something is not right here. It should be a width of 1. 0.967. It's totally not 1. Oh, this is also really weird. Understand this, flat, flat, flatter, flatter, flats. I don't understand this. It's just wrong. It is unpacked from P1. So here's something wrong as well. Maybe this is because Q comes in the illegal zone. So we can't draw the curve anymore. But we're still drawing it. So would it be better if I just was not drawing anything here? And then it's still in the illegal zone, and then it stays there until we get all the way flat again. Okay. Yeah. Just some wrong curves, and now it sticks to P1 again. That is a weird artifact. It should not be drawing the curve. Let's draw the vertex point, just for the kicks. There's the V. It's so blocky here. Let's reduce the length of the tails. I don't need them. Minus 100, dude. So let's say go 10 times as accurate. Oh, that's a bit short. That's a lot of points. That's getting slow. No, it is getting slow. Well, not super slow. Can still live with that, I guess. Okay. Now, like that-ish. Okay, so we have a non-blocky vertex now. And then I want to draw X and Y, I think. I want to draw everything we did draw in the other one. Draw a vertical line from V up to Y equals -6. Why the hell would they do that? It's called foo. Let's not do that. Point on symmetry line at distance 1 from V. That is called V1. That's all nice and dandy. But what about simply X and Y? Draw unit vectors X and Y. That uses just V and yeah, stuff. I think I'm gonna do this. V1 is used here. Go from V1 a distance W left and right. Also plot that. Maybe I should just copy everything. Do I do that? And the Q, what is that? I don't need the Q, right? I already have the Q. Let's put this below the V level. Does not compile. No, it does compile. Strange. Not to do this over and over. There's X and Y, yes. Very nice. And these 2 points. So this distance is W. And before I was putting Q here. No, here. No. So this is half, and then we were seeing that if you put W at 1, and now of course it exactly fits. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. Now it's exactly 1. What the hell? Okay, so this is W from here to there. We can draw that in as well. Dude, I probably gave it a label. Why postponing? All the other stuff. I stopped here because we already had Q, and now we pick it up again. Line through P0 and P1, yeah, I already have that. Line through P1 perpendicular to the symmetry line. Kind of already have that. No? Yeah. That's the SW. I don't know, I want to draw this line. Draw the symmetry line. Okay, let's draw that. Line between V1 and V1L. Guess I have it. There's my W. Line P1Q. No. What? Oh, line P1Q. That's for the... No. That's SW. I don't want to draw that. I already have that. Draw on a Q. It's Q again. Dude. Okay, let's do this. And then after that we do an arc between P1 and Q. And another arc. And that's it. Is that it? I guess so. Next. Suppose you can paste that here. Let's pick up the other things. That was just this arc then. 2 arcs. Error. User undeclared identifier P0. Door an arc between P1Q and P1P0. Yeah. My P0 is kind of fixed. P1 too. This is just the direction left. It's not to get annoying. Theta looks pretty big. I don't have my vertical line here yet. We'll just put Q there, I guess. So then theta is small-ish. No, alpha is weird. Ah. Why would alpha be negative? Either alpha or theta is weird. I need my vertical line from V for a start, because it just ends in nothing. It's nowhere. Oh, looking at quadratic too. There, that's it. I thought the -6 was nonsense, and it is for my program. It would be better to use a length. Wouldn't it? Bull. No, I just have to use VY. Plus something. So make it half should be enough. How can I have a little alpha and a little theta here? Oh, because P0, P1 are standing like this. Yeah. That's interesting. So that the theta that I'm having is not the same as the theta that I have here. Damn. Well, maybe it is, but I can't rotate P0 and P1 like that. Sure, it makes sense. noise. I think I'm going to bed. So now I have 3 sliders which that completely replace my previous program. I can delete that, I think. I just copied everything over. No, it actually does not completely replace it because in this case P0 and P1 are fixed. But yeah. So I can make one where I have a P beta that I can drag. And that means that I have to get rid of 1 freedom. Or 2 freedoms even. No, just 1. Now I can pick an arbitrary Q and a W. I mean, W is not changing, right? So I set W to say 2. Then even if I drag this, oh, it does change W. Yeah, of course it does. Q is fixed. These 3 are change each other. Q is not changing. So I guess if I add even a single point, like P beta, where the curve has to go through, then that must move Q around already. Not necessarily, though, not necessarily. For example, if that point is there, I can just change W. You can change W to, and then you're going to get the point there, or there, or there. Not everywhere though. If I drag the point to here, I don't think I can get the curve to go here without changing Q. Yeah, this doesn't change anything. It's just an alternate way to change W. And V, no, also not. It's kind of the same thing here. If you don't change Q, then it's always curved like this. Symmetry line is always in that direction. You can only make it wider and narrower. It seems all of these things do the same thing. More or less. So if I drag this point too far, then Q has to change. So maybe I can try to drag it, and then I try to adjust it with let's adjust it with what? This changes everything is changing. Okay, but yeah, I guess that's what I should say. The whole triplet. So I'm trying to adjust the whole triplet to get it to go through P beta. But if we hit a limit, so I drag it below this point, then Q must be adjusted. For example, I could say, I drag it here, I could say, I move Q to that thing is rotated there. No, that's all, even that is not working. Oh wow, what the heck? It's still pointing upwards? Why the hell is this thing never pointing down? What kind of ridiculousness is that? That's wrong. Something is wrong here. Shit, we still crash. What? Doing it again. Direction for the arc. P1 and plot 0. That makes no sense whatsoever. Must be this one. Yeah, of course. Q is inside P1. That's QP1. No. We don't have a minus. Right. Time to go to bed, like I said. Why is this thing not pointing down though? The other one can point down, so why can't this one? This can point down. And this one cannot. Maybe it's a negative SW value. I can't really imagine that it's still going to go through P0 and P1, but let's at least see what happens if we make this negative. It's pointing down. Still not pointing down. Up, 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 and back to up. Still pointing up. Not going through P1. It's now going through a point here instead of there. Going to a... Oh, I don't know. Not even that. What is it going through? I think it just became nonsense. Yeah. I don't know. It's only going through P0 now. That was not a good attempt. Okay, let's see. We need a negative value for T. No. I don't know. Let's see what the smart color was thinking when I was still smart a few weeks ago. Although that's also very dubious. I have the feeling that we have to go to down. Rotating is only happening now. Oh, I don't know. W can be negative? Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course. If this is negative, then it's pointing down. Still not convinced though. Is W the length of P0, P1? Here we have something. So A must be negative. Then it's pointing down. And A is 1 over the square root. That's so not going to be negative. I refuse to make my width imaginary. Damn. Where did I go wrong? I definitely did make a mistake here somewhere. I've kind of started over with the P beta and P gamma things. Exactly because of this. I don't know how I did it, but the whole math forces the parabola to be upwards. And it's quite a lot of math. I really don't want to go over this again. You know, one possibility is say the cosine of theta would be -1 here, and then this is 0. So we are linear in t, so t can be replaced with x, and then we have a negative value times x squared. So we're talking about a pi value of theta. So maybe theta is never that big. And I'm calculating theta as an arctice, thingies. I don't know. I don't feel like concentrating on this in detail. But the file, the program, it calculates that. Oh, that's totally gonna be negative. As angle is calculated with the A-tang 2. So that it can point any direction. But apparently it is not. The problem is obviously that this, which is equal to the y vector, is just always pointing upwards. or downwards. Yeah, that's the reason, I guess. Q is always on the left of P1, so that this direction is always pointing to the right. And then the normal is 90-degree rotation clockwise from that. So that is then pointing down. It must be pointing up. Now I want to explain that it's pointing up, so I want, of course, to be up. If this is correct, this says counterclockwise. I read it wrong before. Yeah, that makes sense then. So this is pointing to the right, and now you rotate it 90 degrees, and then right becomes up. So the reason that the parabola is always pointing upwards is because Q is always on the left of P1, and this is how we determine the direction perpendicular to the symmetry. But yeah, hello, why? Where would I want it to point down then? For negative W, for example. No, not for negative W. Negative W? Yeah, something has to give. I should look at the values maybe of my matrix in that case, and then calculate backwards to see what the actually demands are. For now, let's inverse this direction. Was it inverse or reverse? I don't know. Direction. It is called inverse. See if now it points down. Definitely should point down now, or crash. It points down. Great. Yeah. And not going to through P1. Did I not change the other thing back? Hopefully not then. Damn, I did change that back. But it gives you an idea, right? So when you previously added a minus here, it got detached. So now maybe the minus has to be added back because of the inverse there. This is not scientific. But it works. Yeah, now I see upside down and it goes through P1 again. So maybe it's exactly that. If I have to allow the W or S to become negative as well, and then if that is the case, of course, well, not of course, but then as a result also have to negate the vector that I'm using that is perpendicular to symmetry line. Currently, I was using the vector from Q to P1 to be perpendicular, to be, I don't know, the normal of, say, this vector. But that only holds if the vector is pointing the other way. And if I wanted to point it this way, then well, we have to also go from P1 to Q instead. And apparently also consider either W or S negative, or at least, I don't know, change that sign there. Maybe, I don't know which one. Maybe it doesn't matter much. If I'm only using S squared and SW, and W, I use only W in it, then it doesn't really matter which one becomes negative. I think, oh, wait a minute. I think I'm feeling something. Instead of rotating this, anyone interested in quantum mechanics? You know, spin of an electron? That is something that has the property that if you rotate it once, so this thing is like this, yeah? And if I rotate it, well, fuck, if I rotate it once, it's exactly the same again. But the spin of an electron is such that if you rotate it once, it becomes its negative self. And then you have to rotate it again, and then it's itself again. You could do the same thing here. At this point, we have an illegal value. So I can swap, if I pass this point, I can cause it to become negative. Yeah, so then what happens is now it's pointing down, and then it goes flat, and then I swap the sign, and then if I continue rotating, it points up. So we don't get this, but we get, I don't know, this or something like this. Rather, actually, this maybe. It should feel like you continue the rotation. So it's now pointing right down, so I continue this way. Oops, where is it? Here. If you rotate it like this, it's rotating counterclockwise, right? And then something weird happens. But if I go through that point, you want it to continue rotating. So afterwards, it should be like this. So pointing upwards to the positive y-axis. And we can establish that by changing the sign at the moment we go through this point. So then this is wrong. It's now pointing down, but it should be like this. No, sorry, like this. I think. Something like that. Probably more like this. I don't know. We'll see. And then if you rotate it again, so now it should be upside down, and you rotate it again, and then it swaps sign again. Yeah. And then we have a spider. How cool is that? I'm going to go to bed.